And today we're reacting to Stevie Knight finally receives his Negro wake up call. When you get the O'Shea, you got your Negro wake up call video. You are on the other side of things at the moment. Boy, we see him get into it. Well, I've been preach last week. I know he's having the craziest kind of flipping situation. You know what's wild? Like when I started reacting, he was one of those people where, you know, I would see a video come up out of his and I'm like, oh, there's something going on, and we move forward. I might listen to it or something like that. But hey, that being said, man, let's get into it, bro. I appreciate you very for y'all. And then he like,
On April 19th, 2016, Donald Trump was at a presidential rally in Michigan. And what we heard that day was the famous slogan, "What do you have to lose?" In August 2016, he did it again.
What do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? What do you have to lose? I say it again, what do you have to lose? Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty, your schools are no good, you have no jobs, 58%.
What do we have to lose? That's not something you kind of say when it has to do with a presidency or somebody who, you know, can make big decisions. What do you have to lose? Like, that's like, it'd be different if the U.S. was, you know, the U.S. just looked like a big ass Detroit and everything was like, it was horrid out here. No offense to my people in Detroit, but you know, I'm just saying that more so from the reference of a bunch of abandoned buildings everywhere. It was apocalyptic. Not saying Detroit's apocalyptic. Sorry about people in Detroit. I love y'all, bro. But just saying, let's just say it's different if the world apocalyptic and everything is just horrible. Like, bro, the life that we was living, the first presidency, was kind of just doing our thing. Like, life doesn't feel that crazy other than things are just more expensive. It doesn't feel that much different other than things are just more expensive. And it's, yeah, I don't know, you know, for me personally, you know, maybe somebody else is feeling that, you know what I'm saying?
If your youth is unemployed, what the do you have to lose?
Now again, we hear this positioning. He's saying you're living in poverty, your schools are a mess. What do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? Now, for those of us who are from the black community, we can infer that's who he's talking to. And of course, with black people historically voting Democrat the last 40 or 50 years, then it makes sense because crime was high, poverty was high, especially in most major large cities where blacks are at: Detroit, Chicago, New York City, etc., Memphis. So what do you have to lose? Because in other words, you're gonna continue to have the same thing you got now. You can't get any worse. Might as well try Trump. And this messaging coming from Donald Trump did more good than actually bad. And the reason is because he's direct. Donald Trump is completely direct, almost unapologetically direct. And black people really love this tell it how it is personality, especially if it's coming from a non-black person. Even if you don't like me, if you tell it how it is, I can respect you. And while most blacks didn't respect Donald Trump, it did get some blacks to respect him. And then we started this.
She looking mad as hell at them. Well, look at these niggas. We don't rock with you, bro.
See the burgeoning of particular black conservatives such as Anthony Brian Logan in 2015. Then later on we would see Brandon Tatum and then Candace Owens. But those black conservatives were coming out and talking about the black community in ways that most people hadn't heard. And so many other blacks started to be inspired because black conservatives were then telling black people, you have a victim mentality. These things aren't stopping you. You are the only ones holding yourself back. It's not white people. And that particular talking point resonated with a lot of blacks who held a certain level of contempt for black Americans. Fast forward. This brings me to the Abba and Preach situation when there was a debate with a young man by the name of Night Talk. The debate had to do with, you know, school lunches. And now Abba, who is from Canada, is more liberal. This brother Night Talk is from Georgia, and he's a black guy who typically was on the left and of course became on the right. And how he did it was very interesting.
But there was a point where before I had this transition of perspective and I was more of a liberal. I can't even say I was more of a liberal, bro. I've always had conservative values, man. But as far as the race element and the black power element and the victim mindset, I was thoroughly immersed in it. That was my perspective, man. And
I do feel like that's a lot of some people's like downfall. It's the issue with the victim mindset, the victim mentality is like it doesn't the only thing, because it's true. Like that's the thing that it's true, but we can't allow it or let it stop the motion in which that we're trying to get to, the things that we're doing. You feel me? It's like the amount of people that are in these situations, it needs to be a mindset shift. Yes, the odds are against me, but I need to try my best to, you know, break the generational curse and stuff like that. Like, it must be acknowledged that is like this, that is a serious thing. That is not no lie. It's not no joke. It's not that it's not true. Bro, people have broke this down so well. I was watching a video. Somebody was breaking it down how they made it more difficult for people in poverty to get bank loans by just moving banks farther away from certain areas, so they couldn't even get there to get certain bank loans. Like, you know what I'm saying? Systematically, it's been done, but at the end of the day, we gotta prevail and fight and work harder than the next person, and that's the gift that I feel like, you know, God gave a lot of black people, is that we know how to prevail and work, fight through. You know what I'm saying? We have that gift. It's one of those things we got to tap into. That's how I feel.
Anything that went against the way that I viewed the world, I deemed the devil.
Now, this guy is saying that at first he didn't like Brandon Tatum, but he started to listen to Brandon Tatum, and then from there he understood that Brandon Tatum was right. And then he continued to discuss his journey.
Hey, before we get back into the video, I got a way you can make some extra bread. I know you bored at home right now, bro. And all you have to do is play games and get paid for it. If you hit the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen right now, you can sign up to freecash.com and start getting paid right now. And they make it extremely simple. First, just create an account like any other site and email and password. And once you get in, you'll see a wall of games and offers immediately. Pick a game that you actually like, play through the levels, and the cash will land straight into your free cash account. It's basically turning your downtime into a hustle without you even thinking about it. People pulling $10 to $20 a day, and with some effort, you can go way higher than that. You can spend a couple bucks in game to hit levels faster that'll ultimately give you bigger offers and payouts. That's the method on how some users end up making hundreds, even 500 or more on certain offers. But you don't have to spend any money. You can literally stick to the free levels and still cash out. The whole point is when you're taking a break from those Astral Dior videos, doom scrolling, looking at women, you could be playing and earning at the same time. Get to your money, bro. And once you run it up and want to cash out, you've got options of PayPal or gift cards. So if you want to get to that extra cheese, hit the link in the description or scan the code on the screen, sign up for free, and start playing for cash on your spare time. And when you use my link or QR code, you get $5 bonus to get you started, bro. Go ahead, get to it. Let's do it.
Me and hell, the majority of my close ones have.
Hello? What's up, brother? Oh, I just reacted to a Stevie Night video, the Jay Thinker video, and seven steps or 7 reasons why. Hold on, guys, we're watching. Sorry about this, but my dog called me. Let me get him right with this video real quick. Watch it later. And 7 levels of not getting B words. But let me finish this video and I'll send them to you though.
Alright, text me. I'm gonna be recording. So.
Alright, bet.
Have not gone through anything remotely close to what our ancestors has gone through, bro. But we wear it, we live it, we learn it, we're submerged into it, so it's impossible to pull you out. And there's no way you can talk somebody out of that. And I remember talking to this person.
And I'm not cutting that conversation. Don't even ask. Astral Dior video.
It's like, man, there's nothing you can tell them. It's like talking to a wall, and it is. It is, but it bothers the hell out of me, but knowing that fact now, because that's really what is keeping everybody down. That's what's keeping the entire black community down, is that mindset, that perspective, because we still live under that cap, under that box.
He said it was the victim mentality that black people just needed to come out of that was really just so bad. And, you know, now he felt that he was free after getting out of the situation. But then something else is interesting.
And once I got out, man, I was so embarrassed about how I used to be. You know what I'm saying? How weak I looked, bruh. Talking to homies, like people that aren't black, that would never confront me about how weak I looked to them when I was living in that black box.
He then talks about the fact that once he started to talk to non-black people, he felt bad because of how he used to interact with them. And now, because he's a black conservative, or he's,
That's on you. That's on you and how you look at stuff. Like, I could talk to white people and like regular and be normal, and how are you talking to them? What is your, like, that's on you, bro. I don't know what situation, what conversations you were having, but the conversation I have with a white dude and a black dude, they might be different in the context of what we're speaking about, but you're not gonna feel like I'm not talking to you with no type of oppression. I'm not sure what he's trying to get at with that, but I'm not talking to him with no type of oppression in my heart. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't have that conversation with you, or I don't speak to you no type of different way. You feel me? Unless, I'm talking to a manager at a job and I was an employee or something. I don't know. That's just a respect thing, though. I don't know what he's trying to do.
He's no longer blaming racism for all of his issues.
Yeah, that's on you. That's on you. That's on you.
He feels like he's free and he's standing up for himself as a man and, things like that, right? He doesn't feel like he's an idiot anymore. And I kind of want to talk about that because this is what many black conservatives try to tell black people. That, hey, you need to stop having a victim mentality. You need to come over to the right or even to the Republican Party. And if you do this, your life will change. And I want to talk about Republicans in the sense, right? Because what makes somebody a Republican or Democrat is typically ideological issues. And that's the reason why I vote Republican. Limited government, right? That's number one. Emphasis on reducing regulations and bureaucracy. Strong belief that free markets and private enterprise solve problems better than government programs. I definitely believe that. Fiscal responsibility. Lower taxes, especially on business individuals, as a way to encourage investment and growth. True, all right? Traditional social values, okay? I mean, like, I'm a Christian, but again, you will see that a lot of it is rooted in Christianity, opposition to abortion, strong national defense and patriotism, individual liberty and personal responsibility, free market capitalism, law and order, okay? This is typically what they do. Now, Democrats are different. Democrats believe in equality and inclusion, okay? Strong focus on civil rights and anti-discrimination. Now, I do believe in that, but a lot of that is also aimed at racial minorities, women, LGBTQ, immigrants, stuff like that, okay? Right. Economic fairness, healthcare as a right, education opportunity, environmental protection, social liberalism like pro-choice, immigration and diversity is big. So again, even some of these things I agree with. Right. But what happens is when a lot of these black conservatives start to talk about limiting their mindset, the difference is they're still stuck. If you go to the Republican Party like Brandon Tatum has, or to the conservative movements, now I vote Republican, I'm not MAGA, all right? And the reality is, if you don't own what you have, you're still down bad, okay? And I want to explain this because I've asked the guy a very interesting question.
I remember hearing that, and then I asked that about him and he's like, yeah, I feel like the right is a bit more logical and things like that. You said the left is more emotional, so I feel like you think the right is more logical?
Yeah, I'd agree with that take.
Okay.
So the guy says he agrees more with the right. He agrees with everything on the right, except for what? He doesn't agree with ownership. That's the problem. He doesn't agree with ownership. And how do we know this with black conservatives, okay? Or how do we know this with the so-called black conservatives? You see, the one thing about the black church own what they have, okay? The black conservatives don't own anything. The Republican conservative ecosystem, Fox News, the Heritage Foundation, Turning Point USA is white or Jewish funded. I mean, even the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, is owned by a Jewish person. Black conservatives are in this space as commentators or spokespeople, never owners of the platforms, okay? Right. Candace Owens built her fame inside of Turning Point USA, funded by right-wing donors. She wasn't funded through a black-owned machine. Now, you can argue and say that, hey, O'Shea is dusty. You can say,
Candace Owens has a blazer on with Adidas, with blazer with whatever shirt this is, with Adidas, the Adidas pants we all used to wear in high school. This is an interesting combo. This is interesting. I know this has nothing to do with the video, but it just kind of threw me off for half a second.
Tariq or whoever else or Boyce is, not as big as any of those people, but whatever we have, we got it from you guys, okay? And so the people who can control our success is our people. But this is not what happens with black conservatives. A guy like Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, you're dependent on conservative infrastructure anyway. So what do you really have to lose? Well, you still don't own your stuff. You're still depending on somebody else to make decisions for you. So you're going from the Democrats to make decisions for you to Republicans to make decisions for you. And so when you position it like that, it's bad. Now, if we position it as we want to own our own community and then we can be like the Jews and vote left or right, then it makes sense. But all of these guys who get their wake up call and they're now on the right, all of them are down bad. You don't own anything. You don't have anything. Okay? So what do you have to lose? Everything if you don't own anything. Brandon Tatum doesn't own anything. Candace Owens doesn't own anything. Not as black collectives. They're still being paid independently by whites that have no infrastructure in what they're talking about. You know, if they were like the black church, something like that, it'd be different. But they are not. And ultimately what happens is nobody respects you if you don't have ownership. So just because you're a black guy and you're talking in the way you're talking about it now, they still don't respect you. Your community still doesn't have anything. And the
it all kind of just goes back to like even with the Myron thing and the Hodge twins thing. I think somebody was saying that they were gonna make a white group or whatever. At the end of the day, bro. At the end of the day, you're still an African American. You're still a Persian with black skin. So because of that, you know, thank you. It's like, bro. It's basically, think of it on a very low scale. It's basically like free promo. You feel me? We're getting free promo from these guys. We don't gotta pay them nothing. They be riding, they be rocking with us, bro. We don't pay them nan thing. You know what I'm saying? We don't gotta pay them nothing, a dime. Fuck 'em. You know what I'm saying? Basically. If they're gonna support, they're gonna show love, they're gonna do this, that, and the third. But I mean, at the end of the day, they are nowhere. Like, they're not on our level of no type of, no sort, no shape, nothing. Especially because they are fighting against, they're fighting against the people that are the same skin color as them. The people that and they're saying disrespectful, there's something that disrespecting, I'm not saying that. But they're saying things, I'm talking about certain individuals. They're saying things that could be like, why the fuck would I rock with you for saying something like that? That's like somebody saying, fuck your mom. And you're like, oh shit. But fuck your mom because your mom, she did these bad things, fuck her. And you're like, well, she did do these bad things, so like, what? No, I'm gonna be like, hell no, I'm not rocking with you, bro. You're supposed to hear that and listen to you and say, you know what? Actually, you know, he might be right about my mother. It's like, no, bro, my mom, there's a lot of great things about, just point out all the bad things to something that your mom did in the past life or whatever. And then, but you know your mom is being a great, amazing person. She's just a human and also makes some mistakes in her own way. And then now they just come back around. It's like, no, bro, I'm not getting with that. I don't know. And shame on the people that do get like that and end up basically saying, fuck their mom. You know what I'm saying? That's the analogy that I'm trying to make.
Black conservatives will get pushed around like anybody else. This is why whenever you hear Brandon Tatum say something that's wrong or something that doesn't make sense, or he starts pushing Israel, the whites will start coming after him and they'll start disrespecting him as if he's a nobody. Because in their camp, he is a nobody. He is a person that's just willing to say something for a check, and so he can't be.
It's crazy because like this right here is what is understanding white man 101. My mom, she was working as a branch manager at the bank for a long time. She was working in corporate for a long time. So because of that, you know, my mom's well educated, you feel me? She knows a lot of things. She's smart. She knows how to code switch well. She knows how to be with black people. She knows how to be with white people. She knows how to be with the richest of white people. She knows how to handle all situations. Shout out my dudes. Because of that, she's also passed down a lot of information to me. You know, not everybody gets to have that information, but she's broken it down to me. It's very simple, and I think that's the reason why I see the things that I see. The things, it's like, you know, this is understanding white man 101. You feel me? Like, this is you. How do you not see this or understand this?
He trusted, right? He doesn't own anything. That's different than Ben Shapiro in the Daily Wire. All right, that is very different. Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire, they own what they have. They fund what they have. And until blacks on the left or to the right fund what you got, nobody takes you seriously, okay? So you still got everything to lose if you're not paying for anything. And I know I've taken criticism from people. Why did you vote for Trump? Well, okay, I understand what you're saying. Why did you vote for the left? I mean, equally, we would be wrong. I mean, you're not putting any money into what you believe in. Ultimately, blacks don't want to put money into what they want to be in and to be independent. They don't want to do that. Black people don't want to support each other and then complain about racism. That is the fundamental problem that happens with the black community. All right? And so if you don't spend your money on your own people or on your own self, then it doesn't matter what you believe. Period. That's the whole point. Sorry to tell you, that's how it works.
That's real. I like that. I like that. That's real. I can appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Damn. That's real. That just made me think about something. That being said, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Like the video, sub up, comment that bitch with the channel. I lay out, bro. I appreciate y'all. Great for y'all. We gone, man. ADD loud.